So here we are. We're going to get a picture of the swale. This is the area that I've been working on. I'll show you in a second. So we're backing out from that area of the property. You remember the chicken coop is up here. There's Papa right there, sitting down with his drone operations. And there's the main swale there that I'm talking about. That's that ledge, if you can see that here. This ledge here, all along here. If you see that little green arrow there, that's what we're working with, the main one. And I'll just back this out a little bit. So if we look at this, this is on the top ridge of that swale that's blocked off. So there's no sheep going there. So I can plant whatever I want, and I can make a food forest there right now. That's in process. But as you can see, there's not a lot of big trees with roots in the ground yet. So I've got this part up here covered quite well above me to the top of my head. All that is planted out pretty well. But this part isn't, and I've got the biggest opportunity to plant here orchards of plants. And I can collect fruit right along this fence line going all the way straight down. If I get some transport mechanism like a flying fox or something like that. Here I go over the tree trying to get a better view from the side that's facing the house, so facing north. And once we look here, I'll just stop it right about here. So that here, right along straight here, that's the top of the ridge, as you remember. And below that, it's a steep fall all the way to the bottom paddock. But right here is a place we can walk. In fact, we can walk 4 people shoulder to shoulder. 3 people very comfortably shoulder to shoulder. And it's slightly leaning down. You can see, perhaps you can still see it now. It's slightly leaning down so that it's not really collecting water. It does a little bit, especially when the grass grows. It's going to collect water there, but it's not going to soak it in big volumes, which is what I want at the moment, especially since there's not a whole lot of trees stabilizing the steeper part going down. I want to keep it as it is and plant it out. So I want control over how much water gets into the ground. Now, I'm going to stop it again. The same big swale that we saw here, this one's a little bit smaller, and I can put this completely flat, and it's also walkable, and we can go at least 2 people shoulder to shoulder quite easily, and we can bring that all the way across to the fence line, to the forest, coming backwards towards us, coming back this way, behind us as we're facing this screen. So to the south towards the forest. It can go all the way to the fence line of the forest. And up above that is another one that can go all the way. That can go, I wouldn't put it all the way necessarily. I would just put it across this main area. So we have 3 swales that can go below that first initial swale. Before we carry on, let's see what the sheep are up to. I've got it's a little bit dark there, isn't it? It's just the lighting. And I don't have it on auto. I should have set it on auto lighting. I had it on manual, and it's from an old setting when it was real sunny. So I should have reset to auto light. I have it on a bright light setting, which means it's darker now. But the sheep are okay. I'll just forward just a little bit here. Let's move on. We've got, okay, now stop it. We're coming back. Now you can see the other angle. You see that that's a little bit sloping downwards in there. That can be flat. I think it's still a little bit sloping down. That can be flat. It goes all the way back around this hill, all the way to the other side. It will cover the whole area. And then this part, I see this just going to about here, about to the horizon, about to the top mark, right about there, just about here. So this can go all the way back to the forest. And this top one above me will go just to right about to that area and quit. This is not difficult to dig out. It's a lot of area there that we can retain water, retain moisture, and it's flat, comfortable to walk on. That's the addition. So here's the first swale that I did up here. As you remember, it's leaning inwards quite heavily, and it's collecting a lot of water in this area here, straight down at the bottom part, right along here. It's collecting water. And if you see all these plants, all those, we've got a lot of lucernes that are in the plant sheaths. What is it called? The sleeves, these sleeves. These are sleeves here. This is a lucerne, this is a lucerne, this is a lucerne. Those are plant sleeves. And here's the half barrels. Fruit tree, fruit tree, fruit tree, fruit tree, fruit tree, fruit tree, fruit tree. These are almost all pears and apples on this slope here. So fruit trees, it's got a lot of lucernes, 2 lucernes for every fruit tree. That's how I want it in the beginning. Later on, we might leave it 1 per fruit tree. But for now, I really want a lot of nitrogen in there. And this here is a lime. So I'm putting citrus in there as well. Now we're coming from another angle. We're coming from the forest angle into the first swale that I dug. Remember, this one is the one that's leaning backwards. It's collecting a lot of water. And I like the idea. I did this because the outer edge, why is it so high? I thought it would settle in, but it didn't settle in at all. It stayed the same height. So it's quite steep, and it's not comfortable to walk on, to be honest. So what I would do is I'd flatten it out. I'd go and take the digger there one more time, and I'd flatten it out and allow more room. So we can really have a lot of room in this area here. And I'd still keep it sloping in a little bit, but only a little bit. I wouldn't keep it sloping in so steep. It's quite a slope there. It's actually like, I mean, the hill is sloped pretty steep towards the bottom. And this is actually, in the swale, it's sloped pretty steep towards that V shape in the middle. So I didn't intend for that to happen. This is all learning by experience. And as we look down, we can see the opportunities to make a ridge here, a walkable ridge here as well, 3 of them, and we can line them with fruit trees. And I wouldn't put lucernes at the bottom one here, but in between fruit trees up above that, I'd have lucernes. And then at the end of the day, when there's a lot of, here I'd put a lot of natives along on the bottom here. So it really just, it's a solid hill. It's held by natives. It's a fruit forest. It's got plenty of nitrogen. It's got plenty of fruit. It's got plenty of natives that retain the ground, and bees are happy with that. And I'll just stop it here. And then down here, we could have a flying fox that carries buckets. You know, they sell flying fox for kids for a few $100s. Kids weigh more than most of our fruit buckets loaded down with fruit. Fruit's not really that heavy. It's water mixed with air, basically. You know, if you hold an apple, it weighs less than the same amount of water, because it's not pure water in the middle. It's not pure juice. It's part pulp and part juice. So what we'll be doing is we can collect fruit along the ridge, along the swale, and bring it in towards the fence line. On each of these swales, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in once, twice, 3, 4 times on this area here to the center. And then from the bottom, we've got also this flying fox going straight down. We just hook the buckets onto the flying fox and fly them down into the back of the trailer or into the processing area for squeezing and creating whatever it is that we want to do, or for just washing and processing to the next step, sending off to the store, whatever it is. So that's basically what we're looking at. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I guess you understand what I'm trying to do now. We want it to be not only an area that holds a lot of fruit, we want it also to be a walkable area we can enjoy, a couple of picnic benches in there somewhere, a lot of mix of trees, basically a fruit forest that requires no fertilizer, no irrigation, and basically the only thing to do is to keep the flying fox clear. You use a chainsaw or a pole saw, which is a chainsaw on a pole, so you can reach a little bit higher. And then I'll keep this clear for the digger to go down as well, so that if there's anything big heavy work to do, I can always go straight down, cut straight across here, and go up along the other side to some extent, and come back through and come out that gate. So it's walkable, it's diggerable, and it also is four-wheelable, that we can just move through, and it's got a flying foxable as well, because we want it to be processable down there. We want it low labor, and that's the plan.